is a WLKY special presentation.
It's like a war zone. You don't know who's going to die next.
State of Addiction.
It's affecting everybody. We've been in million-dollar homes with the drug overdose.
We don't know what they're taking. They don't know what they're taking.
A far-reaching epidemic.
Wake up. Hey.
With a dangerous toll.
In a 30-day period, 8 people that I know have died.
This is a struggle. There's no simple, easy answers.
Welcome to State of Addiction. I'm Vicki Dorch. Heroin and opioid addiction is becoming more prevalent across the nation and especially here at home. Its impact is far-reaching, hitting all age group, ethnicities, and economic backgrounds. And in many cases, it's someone you would never suspect who has a problem. Kentucky ranks 3rd in the country for the most overdose deaths, tied with Ohio. Only West Virginia and New Hampshire have more, according to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. The heroin epidemic is hitting the city of Louisville particularly hard. Our city is seeing a record number of overdose calls in 2017, including a stretch of 52 ODs in just 32 hours in February. As Emily Maha explains, the spike has Metro emergency crews scrambling to keep up.
Overdose calls are on the rise in the Metro.
Overdoses know no boundaries. They can be in any area of the city.
Louisville is seeing a record number of overdose calls in 2017. Emergency crews responded to 695 calls in January and a staggering 868 calls in February. At least 75 deaths have been attributed to drug overdoses in the first 2.5 months of the year.
Wake up. Hey.
Overdoses are very unpredictable, and the nature of the drug itself is unpredictable.
EMS responds to overdose calls at homes, hotels, and even busy intersections. In February, the passenger in this truck fatally overdosed. The driver OD'd and passed out, causing a crash at the intersection of Hurstbourne Parkway and Westport Road. Hours after the crash, a call to a Rally's bathroom where another person overdosed. Mitchell Burmeister with Louisville Metro EMS says the Metro is in the midst of an epidemic.
There's no part of town that it affects more than any other. You know, it truly is an unfortunate situation that's affecting our entire community, and people are unfortunately exposed to it, no matter who you are or where you are.
Louisville first responders go to an average of 20 overdoses a day. During the week-long spike in February, the calls doubled. Health officials believe the increase is due to the synthetic opioid fentanyl.
What we're seeing on the streets right now is we're seeing fentanyl mixed with heroin as opposed to heroin mixed with fentanyl.
Heroin is unpredictable. Officials say a dose can be different every single time.
Someone could have taken heroin multiple times in the past, and this, certain dose that they take this time could lead to an overdose.
On this run, first responders gave the patient Narcan and rushed the patient to the hospital. And this scene is repeated over and over each day.
Copy 155 in the area.
Emergency crews on the run, scrambling to help with this growing epidemic.
Any increase in calls is definitely going to play a factor in the fatigue of our employees. They're tired of making overdose runs. It's tough to see day in and day out that you're making multiple overdose runs in one shift. You might be making multiple overdose runs on the same patient. It's really difficult.
It's not just emergency crews struggling to keep up with the overdose calls. The workload for Louisville Metro's homicide unit has skyrocketed. Detectives respond to each overdose death, and as Christina Moore explains, narcotics officers and in some cases federal agents are now responding too.
We've been in million-dollar homes with the drug overdose, and we've been in an alley down in the West End on a drug overdose, so it's affecting everybody.
Lieutenant Emily McKinley and LMPD's homicide unit are dealing with a staggering number of overdose deaths in 2017. By mid-March, her unit responded to nearly 80 suspected deadly overdoses. The same time last year, that number was 38. Now, the Drug Enforcement Administration and LMPD's narcotics detectives are jumping in to help. The goal is to track down the dealers.
As DEA agents, we're typically working the highest level trafficker that we can find. Because of this epidemic, we've had to rethink the way we're doing things, and that's what this part of this strategy is we're having to mix things up, and we're actually targeting that first frontline distributor, which is something a little unusual for us.
The DEA's 360 Strategy pilot program kicked off last year in 4 cities: Louisville, Pittsburgh, St. Louis, and Milwaukee. Louisville is considered a priority. Through the initiative, narcotics detectives and sometimes DEA agents will now respond to overdose scenes. They're on the hunt for clues that will lead them back to the supplier.
We have started to kind of streamline how we do overdose deaths because we are working with narcotics unit now. The narcotics unit has come on board where if we respond to an overdose death and we feel that the detective feels that we can identify who maybe provided the drugs to the person, we'll contact a narcotics detective.
Narcotics is always about the minutia. It's about the small things. It's about a scrap of paper with a name or telephone number on it. It's about the type of syringe somebody was using. It tells us a lot about where they're obtaining it from.
Detectives say those clues helped lead to the arrest of suspected dealer Logan Silliman in South Louisville. Police say he sold heroin to a man in December. That man later overdosed and died.
We were contacted by the lead homicide detective. We made the scene. We met with the family. The case, that case is one where everything kind of aligned.
Silliman has been indicted on federal charges of selling heroin that caused a deadly overdose. It's an unprecedented charge for our region, and it carries a 20-year sentence with no chance of parole.
Going into this, I don't think any of us anticipated how emotional it could be, and it's hard.
Authorities say 80% of the suspected overdose deaths in 2017 have likely been from fentanyl, a synthetic opioid that dealers use to cut heroin to make it stronger and cheaper.
This is a stiff, significant penalty that can come with trafficking a very small amount of heroin. But the problem is that small amount of heroin is killing somebody. It's killing somebody's son or daughter, and those sentences may be stiff, but these guys need to know that those sentences are out there. And if you're gonna peddle this poison, we're looking for you, and if we catch you, there's a significant hammer.
And while police and federal agents fight the issue on the streets, many are battling addiction at home, oftentimes in silence. Nearly 5 million Americans are addicted to prescription pills. According to the National Center of Addiction, that's a 300% increase since 1999. And the face of addiction is getting younger. Eric King looks at the painful reality through the eyes of a parent who lost his son to addiction.
As I started to walk upstairs, my heart just felt, and with each step I would take, I'm thinking, I just got a bad feeling. And as I got to the top of the stairs, then I walked into his bedroom, and as I opened the door, I could see his feet, and I could see how pale white they looked. So I lost it, and then I asked my wife to call 911. Then I pulled my son down they said pull him down on the floor and try to give him CPR. So I tried to give my son CPR for about 15 or 20 minutes. And by the time they got there, and they said, "Sir, we'll take over." So then I came downstairs, but my wife and me, we're devastated. And then when I came downstairs and said there's nothing we could do for him, then we both lost it.
Greg Allen was 27 years old. He died in December of 2016, just a few weeks shy of his birthday. Although his drug struggle ended with heroin, his dad, Ken, says it didn't start there.
In his senior year, though, it was combative, even getting him up to go to school. Well, we didn't know that he had started using the pain pills.
No kid, no individual goes into having their first drink or smoking marijuana and saying, you know, oh, I'm going to go try heroin. Nobody says that.
Priscilla McIntosh is the director of the Morton Center in Louisville, which works to help rehab and curb drug addiction. And right now, circumstances have forced them to focus on teens.
We've had calls where elementary kids are crushing up sweet tarts and snorting them up their nose. There's two different things. There's the scenario where we have adolescents who maybe are drinking, smoking marijuana, and using prescription pills. They're kind of testing the waters, and with that, maybe they get in trouble. The parents are realizing there's something going on.
According to the American Society of Addiction Medicine, in 2015, the last full year stats are available, 276,000 kids in the U.S. between the ages of 12 and 17 were abusing over-the-counter pain meds. An additional 122,000 were addicted to prescription pain meds. And 21,000 kids had tried heroin, with an estimated 5,000 calling themselves current users.
Right now it's the heroin epidemic. If we're going to get out of dealing with an epidemic every time we turn around, it has to start at the young age.
Young people, we're all inquisitive as human beings, but the younger we are, the more inquisitive we are. That's how we learn. And you might try something for the first time, but heroin's the one thing you cannot try one time.
For Ken, it's about replaying his son's life, traveling the painful road of constantly asking if there was something more he could have done or said that would have changed his son's path. Despite the daily horror of that trek, it comes with a small bit of solace knowing his story, his son's story, could potentially help another family struggling with addiction or even concerns of the possibility of it.
There's not a day that goes by that we don't shed tears. You know, we're tore up by it because he meant that much to us. And I know other families are going through the same thing. I don't want to see anybody have to go through this. It's painful.
Coming up next, tracing the origins of the opioid epidemic.
Heroin, cocaine, crank, you name it, it's here.
We'll take you to a small eastern Kentucky town where pharmacies dominate the landscape and addicts are fueling crime.